into the far corner. And so at half-time here at Selhurst Park, it is Crystal Palace 0, City 1. Well, let's go back to the studio and Natalie.
So it is 1-0 to City at half-time. Welcome back to Matchday Live. Still joined in the studio by our fan special. It is Stephen McInerney and Amos Murphy. So City lead 1-0 at the break. Amos, interesting first half. As predicted, City dominating possession, 71% possession at the end there. Just the 2 shots on target for us and for them. Not too many big chances, but possession-wise, that's what we predicted. What did you make of the first half?
I think we're geniuses because we said this is going to be the game that's played out, and basically for 45 minutes it absolutely was. Really scrappy, obviously. Palace have plenty of energy. You spoke about that midfield, Kamada and Wharton. For me, probably their best players on the pitch. Yeah, really scrappy first half, but City controlling and looking really comfortable in possession.
Is that what you expected in the first 45?
Yeah, Palace at home with the form, their general form, their ability, they were always going to give us some problems, and they have. Rightfully, we talked about some of their chances maybe being offside, which creates a different picture than what actually happened. City had to work hard to find their moments, and they were composed in possession, which I enjoyed. Because away from home, given where we've been recently, with a few. Maybe we've won the games, but we've had some tough moments against like Fulham and Leeds. We still kept our composure for tired legs as well after the Real Madrid game. It's a hard place to go, and we did as well as we can, I reckon, given the limitations of the fitness and so on in that half.
Yeah, so we took the lead with about 5 minutes to go there into that second half. Maybe neutrals might say slightly against the run of play. I'm fine with it. Obviously, it was Erling Haaland again. Now, it was his, as Ali Man told us in commentary, his first touch in the box. And he got a goal from it, his first shot of the game, and he got a goal from it because Erling Haaland doesn't need a lot of opportunities to take it. So it came in from a cross from Matheus Nunes. I've got to say, an incredible cross from him, lands right onto the head of Erling Haaland, who does what he does, takes that opportunity, puts the ball into the back of the net. What did you make of the goal?
Yeah, like you say, out of nothing really. And Nunes and Haaland have this really good, possibly underrated relationship. Not a time to properly fact check it. Pretty sure it's his 4th assist for Haaland in the Premier League, which is great, and he's got a few more in Champions League and whatnot. So yeah, lovely cross. Haaland's movement, incredible. He shakes the defender, and I actually think the header is incredible because he goes straight back across the goalkeeper, which is it makes it difficult to save.
Yeah, we were talking about that just before half time, and how Haaland's got so much better in the air as well. It's a wonderful cross, and Haaland, I think you forget that as good as he is still young, and there's lots of room to improve. He's always been good in the air, but right now it feels like he's just excellent. Like that header is absolutely perfection. The direction of it, heading downwards, it's such a classic centre forwards. Alan Shearer, for example, we was chatting to the other day, he would have been proud of that goal. And this is why you need someone like Erling Haaland, because run a play, maybe, I don't know, we had all the possession, so I don't know if that's necessarily fair, but they had some moments, Palace, and maybe we hadn't had our chance yet. But when we got it, we took it, which is what brilliant players do and which brilliant sides do. And given the context of the week, as we were just talking about, given the games we've had so far, I don't mind a slightly difficult first half against a side of the quality of Palace away, as long as we have the quality to do something about it, and we do. A beautiful cross and a beautiful header from 2 players who've shown that they can do it before.
Yeah, absolutely. I think part of what I love about Erling Haaland with this goal as well is the patience that he showed Amos, because he hadn't had much service in the game. As we say, he'd barely touched the ball, but when he gets the opportunity, he takes it. He's always ready, he's always patient, he's always waiting.
Yeah, and he doesn't go looking for it. You don't see him dropping deep, sort of congesting different areas, and that's why he's there. I think back to a game, 21-22 season at Palace. I think City had 33 shots, but it finished 0-0. And the following season, obviously, City signed Erling Haaland for that, because you don't need the 30-odd chances. You give him one little sniff in the box, and what does he do? He produces the goods.
Oh, I love that. Yes, you just give him a little sniff and up he pops. That's 16 Premier League goals for the season. That's 5 ahead of anybody else so far. He's also had 58 attempts at goal this season, more than any other player in the Premier League. Just the one today and the 1 goal. So in terms of the rest of the game, we were talking about the difference in missing Doku today. And you were saying while we were watching the game, Amos, you're finding our play very narrow in that first half.
Yeah, I think a lot of the width, understandably so, because City have so much of the ball, is coming from the full-backs with O'Reilly and Núñez, which led to the goal ultimately. But I do think on that left-hand side, Doku is a big miss. And I think as we get towards the second half, maybe you look towards someone like Savinho. He did a fantastic job in midweek, coming on, stretching the game. Palace should go looking for it a little bit more, so that would create more space on one of the flanks. But I think, if you look at one of City's weaknesses this season, second halves, controlling that has been a little bit of an issue. So I'm excited to see how they go and approach it and hopefully see out the win.
How have you found City without Doku today?
Yeah, I think you don't really realise how much you rely on someone until it's sort of not there. And obviously last season, Savinho's played an awful lot. And both of those players, I know Savinho's form hasn't been quite to the same levels as Doku this season, but they're both ball carriers to the point where they can get the ball in their own defensive third and get 30, 40 yards up the pitch. And I think it's very obvious looking at City today, without both of those players on the pitch, that we do lead on that quite a lot. It's a big part of... City's attacking play is built on a little bit of individual brilliance, but it's not. If it's reliable like it is with Doku, it's a perfectly fair tactic to use. And I think we are missing the fact that Doku can get the ball for O'Reilly and progress the ball up to the edge of the area. And that's so many of our chances come from Doku just cutting inside, passing it across the area to someone. And you can tell we haven't got that today, which massively this does nullify our creativity a little bit. Now, you can't be fit every single game, is what it is. But I do think there is something in maybe the idea of Savinho in the second half, because I think we are a better side when we're leaning onto the carries, which we've become much more of a team that does that than we used to be. And I think, we're missing Doku. I mean, we're still doing well, we're winning, of course, but I think it shows just how important he has come to Manchester City.
Of course, Savinho came on in the 70th minute in the Real Madrid game. He came on as a substitute before. I think it was the Leeds game as well. And I think he's done really well when he's come on. And I think it's clear that Pep's been impressed with him. Some of the comments that he's made about Savinho. And I think there's a noticeable change in his work rate. He's tracking back now. He's much more involved in the team play.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe it was fitness, maybe it was the noise around him in the summer. But I thought he was really impressive against Real Madrid. I mean, he was brought on to do a job which was to alleviate some pressure, and that's what Doku and Savinho have both been really good at. And I think there's something to be said for that potentially at Selhurst Park when they're chasing the game, when they need a goal. That space is going to be in behind when their wing backs are getting forward, and he could be a really useful outlet, for City if they need something a little bit different.
So in terms of Crystal Palace, their best chance of the half came a little bit earlier on. It was Pino. It went through and we wondered if he was offside. When we looked back, we don't think he was. We think Nico Riley was playing him on and he hit the bar. There's a few other opportunities that Palace have had in that half. I think a few that I remember with Mateta that have come from long balls over the top. Is that where we are most vulnerable, do you think?
Probably. City operating with a very high line as usual. And I mean, there's no point in suggesting to change because obviously Guardiola's never going to do that. So it's just about how you combat it. Can you cut out the ball a little bit earlier on? Yeah. Keep mentioning the two midfielders. They have been dictating, and I feel sorry for Nico because he's kind of doing a lot of running in there. So possibly the other midfielders can chip in that department as well. But I mean, Donnarumma between the sticks, he was called upon late on for another chance and, pulls off it wasn't the most difficult save, but you do have that added sense of security when he's between the sticks. So hopefully can sort of maybe cut out them a little bit more. But yeah, they do pose a threat. They're going to pose a threat. So just try and minimalise it a little bit.
You mentioned Nico there. Of course, I'm sure you've all been busy counting the number of times that Nico has said in the first half.
Wrong.
Oh, these two were absolutely rubbish.
My jokey 74 number is going to be way closer in the end. It's
right?
ridiculous.
It was like 12 after 11 minutes.
I think he was winding us up in the end. It was
I know.
It was ridiculous.
If you don't know what we're talking about, we are running a competition. So you can get yourself onto your Citizens feed or onto the website. And our competition to win this Nico signed ball that Stephen is so lovely modelling for us right now. And to do that, you need to add up the amount of times either Alistair Mann or Michael Brown says the word Nico during the commentary. Now, not Nico O'Reilly, Nico, as in Nico Gonzalez. And if you go online, onto your Citizens feed or onto the website and let us know. If you want to, you can go back later on City Plus, watch the full match replay, re-watch it, and recount them up. And you can see Nico there. That is him signing the ball there. I've lost track of how many we were on, I have to admit. I did start counting and then I just lost it. It needs a lot of focus. But it was 12 after 11 minutes. Yeah. And I think you said 16 and you said 17?
Yeah,
did you think Nico wasn't going to touch the ball very much?
I don't know what's going to happen. I thought he would just casually talk. Maybe I was just wrong. No,
well, we were wrong.
Not wrong, yeah.
I
don't know what I was wrong. Yeah.
So if you would love to win that ball, it's probably best that you do get City Plus and do the full match replay and then just sit and focus because it is going to be a big number. Now, I want to tell you about a big game as well that's taking place on Tuesday as our EDS are taking on Real Madrid on match day 2 of the Premier League's International Cup. Hopefully, the scoreline is similar to the one that the first team had at the Bernabeu on Wednesday night because City beat Real Madrid, as I'm sure you're very much aware. So if you can't get to the game, then we'll be showing it live on City Plus. The kickoff is 7 p.m. It's at the Joy Stadium.
Manchester City and Real Madrid. Now Mukasa scores the goal. He's gone all the way. Heskey. Oh, yes.
Tickets are just £3 for adults, £1 for over 65s, 18 to 21s and under 18s. And all Matchday members and season ticket members can redeem one free ticket, just like for our Premier League, to UEFA Youth League and FA Cup fixtures. So best of luck there to our under-21s in the Premier League's International Cup Tuesday night. So we will keep an eye on to see if the players are coming back out into the tunnel for what is going to be a big second half because, of course, Arsenal snuck a sneaky win yesterday versus a team that's not won in the Premier League this year with... I mean, they didn't score. Wolves scored 3 goals in that game. Oh, my goodness. I shouldn't have been watching it because I kept getting my hopes up. But given that they won yesterday, it's even more important that we hold this or score more in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you can think about Arsenal and the Premier League title race. I think it's more important for City, you know, the week that they've had to keep that momentum going after beating Real Madrid. You want to go into this game and, you know, you want to build on that as well. It's a very congested fixture list, as we know. So I don't think you don't want to be dropping points. So
you can see that as it stands, City would be 2 points behind Arsenal. So the victory today, really important. Villa currently losing to West Ham. So you can see that would also start to open up a little gap between us and those teams below us as well. You can see Chelsea there, 28. Palace there would stay on 5th as well in 26th. And then you can see looking a little bit further down the table as well. A few other games taking place today. Let me double check the scores for you currently. So it is Forest beating Spurs 1-0. It's 0-0 in the Tyne-Wear derby, and it is West Ham 2, Aston Villa 1 in that game as well. So let's think about the second half. Stephen, what do you want to see City do in the second half?
Win, Natalie, win. So I want to see... look, more, keep the ball. And I think given the players that we've got, you know, with Shirky and Foden and so on, Haaland, we will, and Reinders, of course, he's really good at getting forward. If we keep the ball well for straight Palace, there'll be space for maybe if we bring on someone like Savinho in the second half to exploit. And I think there's chances in this for City, more chances to be had in the second half than there is the first, because Palace, they need that goal. We've got to play into that.
We can see there. Oh, there is some movement in the corner. There's somebody in a very bright shirt, which I'm guessing is a goalkeeper coming out. Are they?
Yeah, Dean Henderson maybe.
Wow. Well, my eyesight is shocking, Amos, so I'm glad that you can see
mine.
that.
That's why I've got these on.
my New Year's resolution for next year is to get laser eye surgery because I can't see anything half the time. But we'll keep an eye out there. For you, what do you want to see City do in the second half?
A really controlled second half, hopefully. I think after Leeds and Fulham, my heart rate can't take any more of these up and down second half. So just a nice, non-eventful second half will do. I don't know if it will be because Palace have quality, but if they can defend, stay controlled, and like you said, there should be goals on the break.
Thank goodness for that Real Madrid second half performance, because I didn't want to psychologically start panicking when we're, after the Fulham game, after the Leeds game. I think that victory was so important.
Sunderland was good as well.
Yeah. Yes, for the psychology.
10 minutes, and after that we controlled it, didn't we?
Yeah. So we can see that the Palace team are coming back out there, a big second half. Join us at full time, where hopefully we are talking about a win for the women and then a win for the men, going just 2 points, keeping that 2 point gap between Arsenal at the top of the table. So if you're not currently watching on the Manchester City app, move over to there right now, download it, go and get your second half commentary with Alistair Mann and Michael Brown. Don't forget, keep counting your Nicos. We'll see you at full time.
Thank you, Natalie. Good timing. The City players just making their way out from the corner where the players emerge from the tunnel. And the reality is that City lead by 1-0. It feels like a narrow advantage. Sometimes when you one up, you feel as though it's been a comfortable afternoon's work, but it hasn't been. Palace, of course, probably more problems for City than City have for Palace, but the man in the picture at the moment is Erling Haaland, who has had one chance in the match and he's taken it. Lovely ball in from Matheus Nunes in a crossing position from the right-hand side. Haaland got beyond Richards, who was pretty much flat-footed, and used the momentum of the cross to guide the ball in beyond Henderson. And City, as it stands, lead by 1-0. And there is every reason to feel that it might be a kind of 1-0 afternoon. It hasn't been a game littered with opportunities. Of course, Palace will definitely